And can I tell you, I said, I just want us to have this conversation of Mr. Makandiwa, like, you know, for those the Christians like mine. Emmanuel Makandiwa showing confrontation of Mr. Emerson Mnangagwa. Quite interesting, if it's your first time to come across this channel, I'm going to ask you that you subscribe. You also turn on the notification button because every time I'm live, you'll be notified immediately. But we need to have a conversation because Mr. Makandiwa said, we have had enough. I'm that kind of a Christian. I'm the traditional, or you call them old school Christians. I'm not this modern. As much as I love English, Nessa is the first person in line. Nessa, I love you. I love you so much. I love you. I told you that I've got a new YouTube channel that is coming up. It's really for interviews that I'm going to do with very, very interesting individuals that have unique stories to share. And I know you guys are going to learn a lot. It's going to be a funny one. It's going to be called Now with Rumbi. So, when I say now, I mean absolutely now. So, yeah, good to see you. Don't forget to like the live as we move along and also to make sure that you comment because your comments really matter. Mr. Makandiwa said, I've had enough. Hilda, good to see you. Destiny, I love you so much, y'all. Good to see you. Are you guys good? Because I'm doing absolutely cool. Okay, I don't want to take much of your time. Let me just tell you, I don't want to take much of your time because this is so important. Mr. Makandiwa have had enough. Absolutely enough. Who hasn't had enough with ZANU-PF? Everyone, have had enough. But I'll read this tweet quickly. Oh, this quote absolutely is called an evil man who burned his own nation to the ground to rule over the ashes. An evil man who burned his nation to the ground to rule over ashes. And it was it's a quote by Son TZU. I don't know how you pronounce that. My pronunciation can be actually very interesting. So you may not get it well. So you pronounce the way that you understand or the way that you feel is correct. It's correct. But let's take a listen to Mr. Makandiwa because he's fuming. People have had enough, man. After this budget, looting and loot from the poor, people have said we have had enough. And Mr. Makandiwa said, I think it's time. Let's take a listen to him because the man is fuming, breathing fire. He is breathing fire. And I completely understand. Who doesn't? When you eventually encounter who's this word? Who's this word? Don't. You tell me I'm good. Please drop your location. Please drop your location. When you eventually encounter say it out is the point. You tell me that that if you continue we'll give another process. Let me just tell you, people have been saying Makandiwa is actually affiliating with ZANU-PF, but I think we are in an era where people have had enough. You can't manipulate any Zimbabwean anymore, be it a pastor, a prophet, an evangelist, a teacher, any Zimbabwean, which includes those that are actually in ZANU-PF. You can't manipulate people any longer. People are fed up. They want peace. They want a country that functions. Mr. Makandiwa says it is enough. We want this country to function. So you say no. Let people grow. Because, we all know that Zimbabweans' life, this especially ZANU-PF, love to subjugate individuals so that you don't really grow. Your potentials, your goals, your destiny is definitely being suffocated by toxic politics. And everyone is fed up, honestly. And I agree with Mr. Mnangagwa. I agree with Mr. Makandiwa to say it is enough because it was a time that I sent out a tweet and I tagged him and his wife and Magaya. I'm like, yo, you're preachers. What are you preaching? I see you gallivanting with the president. During the time of his inauguration, Makandiwa was there and his wife. Magaya was also there. I said, you are the ones who kind of preaching the word of Jesus Christ. So if the truth is on your side, how come we keep on having problems in the country? What are you saying to the leaders in this space? Speak up, do something as leaders and say, hey, beware, God is going to come for us. Let's do things right. And I remember this. I remember that there was no response, but people were like, no, he's affiliating himself with his own PF, so you won't get no response. But I'm glad he's speaking out. Because it's like, if you're preaching Jesus, the one that I serve, if you truly go to church the way that I do, because for me, I will not even sleep. I won't even sit next to these people without even pointing out and said, not in this verse. There will be consequences of our actions. But I'm glad now the church is rising up. Mr. Makandiwa is speaking up. Say, people can't suffer any longer. Guys, speak up. Everyone, the church, speak up. Our civil society, speak up. Politicians, forget about politicians. Speak up, every Zimbabwean. I've always been saying, guys, speak up. Comment in the comment section. These guys are literally watching. They read all these comments. They want to know what you guys think. Speak up. Speak your mind. Respectfully, though, we don't disrespect the people. Because they need to know how we feel, what we think, and how we see life, and how we actually experience things. Guys, we are literally burning. Who's not burning? Even those that are in diaspora, people are suffering. We are tired, and it's time for us to really raise our voice so that we can be heard. So I respect Mr. Makandiwa. I'm like, speak up. Direct to it. You must go in and meet the president, His Excellency, and tell him that, hey, sir, if we don't act properly right now, there'll be consequences. We're going to pay a heavy, heavy cost. Because what we are doing right now, God is not happy out. Because our people are suffering. I've seen quite a number of people who are literally like homeless. As we speak, their houses were demolished. Some were burned. And you expect God to smile at you? You expect God to be happy with our actions? No. People are suffering. Mothers are crying with babies with no space, no place to sleep. And you expect the blessing of God upon the nation? No. It doesn't work like that. The blessing can only be accompanied by the right actions. Treat each other with respect. So I'm glad at least Mr. Makandiwa is speaking up. Now another bombshell. I'm in shock, literally flabbergasted by the actions of Malaba. Did you see the letter that Malaba sent like this evening? Literally, Malaba is saying any electoral, challenge, if you decide to sue someone, all those documents must pass through his office first. The Constitutional Court, Mr. Malaba, will look into the documents first before you file. Can you see how much? And immediately, never MASWERASEI went and said, you guys are not abusing your power. You are literally abusing your power, and you are abusing our people. We have had enough. You are abusing your powers. You are abusing our people. That was never MASWERASEI. Do I blame him? I don't. Honestly, I think people are crossing lines. They don't care anymore about how you feel about things. But he was like, no, dear Mr. Malaba, he wrote a tweet to him. This is not the way to proceed as a country, no matter how much power you wield. It is unconstitutional and a blatant abuse of office for the Chief Justice to want to have access to all electoral matters first before they are formally filed. The question is why Mr. Malaba wants to have a look at electoral challenges before they are filed in the magistrate court. Remember, it's the magistrate court, the High Court, the Supreme Court, and then I think it's the magistrate court, right? High Court, Supreme Court, and then Constitutional Court. So they're asking why. But can you see the games? The games. So Mr. Malaba, remember, he came back and most people were against his comeback, even though he had retired. But you can see how he's playing his cards. Yeah, I'm terrified by these actions. Honestly, I'm terrified. As a child of God, I am terrified. Because I don't even know where we are going as a country. How do people wake up and just do as they please and think they can get away with it? No. Honestly, something is going to happen. And whatever is going to happen is very close. Because the actions can actually show us where we are going. That something, we may not know what it is or when it's going to come, but I can guarantee you something is going to definitely happen in this country. That's for sure. I'm afraid, yeah. I'm afraid the level of disrespect that's going down in the country, selfishness, it has reached another level. But that's what happens. Did you see Songezo Shavangu today? You went to the court apparently, chuckling, giggling all the way. You know, they always say that kana munhu une emotion didi. You know, matanda nyadzi, unenge ushinyara kuti munhu wangu wakaipa. I looked at him and amunzura tsitsi. God, I'm going to pray for you so that God can forgive you. Because you already cursed. You are a man who is cursed. You are cursed. So guess what's literally laughing? This is not a laughing matter. That you're wasting our time and our lives. That you have allowed yourself to be used to subjugate the will of the people. It's not funny. It's not funny, Mr. Songezo, but anyway, he's becoming now the celebrity. I had people, Mr. Songezo, oh, he feels like he's carrying it. No, it's short-lived, sir. Your drama is short-lived. We've seen this script before. We've seen people who did the most and they paid. That came definitely with consequences. So, Mr. Songezo, I'm worried about you because your time is coming. It's coming very soon. It's coming very, very soon. But I want you to take a listen, guys. Let me just tell you, this is actually dear to my heart. It's so dear to my heart. But there was, a podcast that was done, but they were specifically with the doctors and the people who would assist us on where to from here as far as the youth is concerned. But I want you guys to take a listen, please. Carefully, I know some of the words there maybe, but take a listen, please.
Change, life is dynamic. Saka kuti tirambe isusu tichingoti because kudhara kwatakakura isusu zvasingaitike but izvizvi zvakuitika. Pane zvinhu, there are certain things that we can't deny, that the young people, they are having sex and they are having it early, right? So we have to accept that, yes,
and they have it in bulk. But
yes, and they have it in bulk, and then, so if we keep denying, if we keep saying, no, morals and so forth, but at the end of the day, what we're worried about is the health of the person, and it. Those people, like I said, their sexual debut now is even much lower. They have sex, and if there is no contraception, they are having early pregnancy. Early pregnancy or teenage pregnancy has its own complications, including death, right? So we want to prevent that. So what are we saying? Are we saying that if someone rather dies from teenage pregnancy against issue morals? I think what we have to put first is someone's life, which is we have to prevent death. And the second thing is we have to prevent sickness. By preventing sickness, I mean if we're going to use my condoms, condom is it works both as a contraceptive but also as protects against my STIs, right? It means we are preventing HIV, we are preventing my STIs. Like I said, these STIs have their own issues, and also things like cervical cancer amongst our women. And what's also important, especially to the young girls, according to these are the studies, or even the World Health Organization, they say that in the ages between 10 to 19 years, right, 85% of those who are newly infected, they are girls, you see. So it means that we need those condoms. We need to teach them about the sexual health. It is important. We have to stop the transmission of HIV, if possible, in our generation. That we have to accept change.
I think this is a very sensitive topic and very dear to my heart. I remember one day sitting and started thinking, I'm like, when I look at in prisons today, and you look at the young people, most of the times, rural areas. Most of the times. And that made me sit down and started thinking, said, I think, is it not a problem, Kuti? They are not being taught, Kuti, most of the times, how do you react to certain things that happens in your body as you get to go through the puberty age? And I think like the government really is not doing much in that area. They're not helping the young people at all. And it is so important for us to know that some of the challenges we are facing today, we could avoid them by simply educate our young people. I'm not in Zimbabwe, but honestly, I know there will be a time that I will be home. Oh, of course, 100%, there will be a time. You're home. The ancestors are always going to say, come back, baby. Come back to your parents. But I will dedicate myself to really travel different spaces and educate young people. Zimbabwe is a very small country. Influence can move just like that. But because we aren't playing a part, it seems like things are just stagnant. I don't even understand what is the purpose of Women's League? Why do we even have Women's League in Zimbabwe? Can somebody educate me? What are they doing? That Women's League, those women that normally shake when they go to that building and wearing their uniforms, different prints and colors for ZANU-PF. What are they doing? I've never seen them, even when there are issues at the court. I expect the Women's League to go in and defend the rights of young girls. I've never seen it. I expected the Men's League to go in and defend the rights of young men. I've never seen it. That can show you that something's wrong in the country. When all those institutions are completely dead, something is wrong in the nation. We have to educate our people. For those that have got girl children, educate your kids. If you can see your neighbor, educate them. I know sometimes it's hard, but we can work together to really bring justice and peace among ourselves. Because if we don't, no one else will. My heart breaks for literally for the rural masses, because they always fall victims of all these challenges. No one is there to assist them. We should, honestly, the government must play a part of educating those schools in the rural area. I was hurt when I saw, the people that called their Kodi, is it Vadema or Vatema? It's more like a culture or a tribe that is in the rural outskirts, And I'm like, these people are literally isolated. Like they don't belong to Zimbabwe. They are Zimbabweans. They are our brothers. And my heart bled when I saw that, because I actually saw some people came from Europe, went down there and did a documentary. But we have Zimbabweans, we have politicians who are not exposing these areas. They are literally in the outskirts. Nobody cares, but they are part and family of our country. Why do we always think that we need to focus on Harare, when there are so many rural spaces that need our attention?